My first job with this tree will be to get it out of the pot, and this might be very difficult. You can see this pot has sort of a narrow waist here, and then it bulges out. So if the roots have grown into this larger diameter section, it may be very hard to pull it out of the pot. So whenever you're buying a pot for a bonsai, always make sure the sides taper so you can get it out of the pot when it gets root bound. This pot is cracked here and on this side. So I'm going to try pulling the tree out of the pot. If that doesn't work, I may have to separate the pot by pulling it apart down this cracked section. But first I'll try and loosen it up and see if I can remove it from the pot. I'll go around the edges and try and loosen it up. But I don't know. Even, putting my tool inside here, it feels very packed in, the roots. Yeah, these roots are really, really packed in here. Wow, it's hard to get the tool in here. The tree is, I don't know if it's tied in. There is a wire down at the bottom here, which could be just holding the drainage screen in, or it could be holding the tree in. I don't know. I'll position the wire so it can come out the hole of the pot. Oh, I pushed up on it, and I got some movement from the tree. So, it's coming out. Well, there we go. Look at that. And actually, the pot it's rounded inside nicely, so it doesn't swell out. It's just the clay that swells out on the outside. So that's good. That's amazing. So hopefully I can repair those cracks in the pot and use it again then, because it is a very unique pot. So the repotting of the tree is off to a good start. I've got my tree out of the pot. Now I'll start to examine the roots, combing them out, and see what is there and what I have to work with. Okay, so I'm going to start with the surface roots, raking. The tree does have some nice radial surface roots on it. Some of them are quite thick and end abruptly here, but it's definitely being trained as a bonsai tree. I know this tree's been trained as a bonsai in this pot for probably 20 to 30 years. So yeah, it's no stranger to bonsai culture, this tree. And the tree's kind of special to me because it was owned by George from our club, who's passed away now. He was a doctor, and he practiced up in Palmerston, which is where one of my sisters was born. So it's more than likely that he delivered my sister. Now, I've been thinking about this tree. I believe it's a Chinese elm, but I could be wrong. It is quite possible that it's a Siberian elm. There's a lot of species of elms, and the bark looks too rough to me to be a Chinese elm, but I could be wrong. I don't know. It may be just that it's really old and grown in Canada. I don't know. I'll try and find out, but it is possible that it may not be a Chinese elm, because I know this tree has survived outdoors like through all the winters in Canada for many years. So I'm not sure a Chinese elm would do that. They're not quite as cold hardy as some of the other elms. There's a bit of some mushy roots in here or something in here. I don't like that. There's a bit of a mushy section to the roots down here. That may be, winter kill on the roots, or hopefully it's not some kind of disease or something. So I'm being very careful combing these roots out, trying to get them combed out without injuring the existing roots too much. You can see I'm having, not a real easy time of it. I don't know where that wire goes either. Doesn't want to pull out. I'm going to start combing a bit on the bottom too. You can see it, they're quite densely packed in there. Usually the roots on the bottom, if they're really packed in, they're not in the greatest of health either. I think this is a drainage screen, that's what that is. Yeah, there's a drainage screen down here, and I'm going to try and get it out. The roots have kind of grown around it and through it. This is definitely not going to be an easy repot. There we go. I got it out. That worries me, this one soft section of roots here. Definitely rotted in that section. And it could be from the cold, I don't know. Hopefully they'll recover when it gets repotted and it's a new soil. A bit of a ring of roots on the bottom down here. They've circled the pots a few times. I've been combing away at the root base. I can't see where the wires go up into the root ball. So I'm going to try washing the roots. Yeah, here's the wire. It looks like it's twisted around here. It started out almost sunny this morning, and it's starting to get really dark now. There's a storm blowing in, so it's getting really windy. I've washed the roots as much as I can. They're still all tangled up, and I'm going to do a little bit of root pruning on the bottom. So here I go. I never could figure out where these wires go, so they're still in there. I'm going to prune off some of these roots that are growing down here. A lot of these roots aren't in very good condition. Some of them have gone a little mushy, and so I'm hoping the tree survives. I'm also hoping I can figure out those wires to figure out where they go. That was a really mushy root, that one. That root's no good either. I think it's even dead. I may have to cut these wires out. I think I will. I'll get my wire cutters and cut them. Then maybe I can pull them up from the surface here maybe. Okay. Let's just come underneath and cut the wires off. Flush. Gets rid of that. At least we can sit the tree down fairly flat now. Do a little more pruning. The roots aren't in very good shape. So I think, the solution will be to get the tree in a bigger pot so the roots can start growing and the tree can get healthy. And then we'll just have to tackle the roots another day. You can't do everything at once, especially when you're dealing with a fairly severely root-bound tree. Okay, I'll give it a final wash and then we'll come back and start planting the tree. I think that's about as much root work as I can do for now. It's not in good shape. A lot of the roots are rotting. A lot of dead stuff underneath. So all I can do is put it in a fresh bonsai soil in a good draining pot and try and develop as many new roots as possible to try and get the tree healthy again, to get a nice healthy root base, and then we'll continue the pruning in further repottings. I'm going to plant the tree in this rather large mica pot. It has really good drainage. It's a nice tall pot, so the water will drain through nicely. Yeah. So I'll get the screens in and a layer of soil and we'll plant the tree. I'm going to put some soil in the pot now. So I'm just figuring out kind of what height I need. Not too much, just a shallow layer. And then I'll put the tree on top of this layer of soil. Now I can position the tree in the pot. So I think this was sort of the front I had picked from last time, so I'll just put the tree in the pot. That looks like a fairly good height in the soil. So I'll fill it in now. Hold my breath. I don't really have to work the soil into the roots because the roots are almost like a solid block. There's no spaces between them, so my hope is the tree survives and it grows a new root system into this new bonsai soil. So time will tell. It certainly wasn't the best root system in the world. When I did prune this tree, I did get some of the cuttings survive. So if this tree were to die, I would still have a cutting off of it. Yeah, I could see me removing some more branches in the future too. Yeah, this is just the beginning for this tree. Okay, let's get it watered. So that was the repotting of this elm tree. I did not like the condition of the roots. There were a lot of mushy ones. I don't know if they were rotting before or if they died over the winter. Maybe it was too cold. I don't know. I'm not sure if this tree's going to live. We'll find out this summer. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. It's time now for today's update. I don't have to travel far for today's update. It's in the greenhouse here. These are all the seeds I planted last fall. They stayed out in the greenhouse all winter to cold stratify them. And today I'm seeing the first sign of life from one of the seeds. The first tree to germinate is a locust tree, and this is a honey locust. So I'm hoping I get lots more seedlings germinate in these seed trays so we can start some more bonsai trees this year. I was sent some seeds in the mail from Michelle in Big Valley, Alberta, and they are arbutus seeds. They're a really interesting tree that grows out west. So I'll plant these this spring and we'll see what grows. So thanks, Michelle. That's all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me here on a windy day in the Bonsai Zone.